Welcome, empaths. My name is Eileen, and I am very excited to be with you again energetically. I'm hoping that you are doing very well on your empath journey. We are in spring now, and spring represents new. And so, as new energies are swirling about us, we had our full moon in Virgo recently, a few weeks ago. And, that was also the weekend of the spring equinox. And so as we're adjusting to these new energies, of course, our empath journey continues to be an epic adventure. Highs and lows, hills and valleys, so many different things. Recently, many people, but many empaths in particular, experienced divine discontent in their lives, in various areas of their lives. There were many relationships that went through some type of turbulence. And, for some people, they were triggered, and that resulted in breakups. Many people left their jobs or are in the process of looking for new work. So there's this divine discontent occurring among our empath collective. And so some of the breakups in the last, unfortunately, few weeks, few days have been brutal in nature, in one way or another, emotionally brutal. But adjustments are being made for our empath brothers and sisters to find themselves sitting in a vibrational set point that is worthy of their light and aligned with the frequency that's been embedded in their heart and that they carry within them, based on their mission assignments and their soul calling. So divine discontent in relationships, at places of work, communities. Some people are choosing to relocate and remove themselves from situations that no longer serve. So as a collective, we are making adjustments. We are calibrating to be in alignment with the highest divine vibration that's available to us now. And our vibrational set point is elevating, as a collective. So some things in our lives are just no longer aligned, and, hence the breakups and the divine discontent, leaving situations that are not helpful. But it also is taking the look of deep dives into self, deep introspection, hermit mode, deeper meditation after being triggered, so that we can recognize what's really going on. Who am I now in this new unit of time? And so many of us, with the new moon energies or the full moon energies, the spring equinox energies, and several other amazing things that happened recently, energetically, spiritually, we walked through a new portal. And this new portal has allowed us to really come close to look at the divine mirror, if you will, and recognize patterns and cycles that are no longer helpful, no longer useful. And a lot of us found the resolve and the determination to shut down those cycles for good with the full moon in Virgo. So as our collective is adjusting, we continue to step through portals. And, when portals are open, they can stay open for days, weeks, months. It depends on how powerful and potent that portal is and what we need, And so as we've stepped into this new portal after the full moon in Virgo, it's kind of like we shed old layers, we shed the clothes that we no longer need, and we're putting on new robes, new attire. We're wearing the emperor's new clothes, the empress's new clothing. We're shedding the old rags and allowing ourselves to be naked and open and vulnerable trusting the divine process and allowing the divine to heal everything that needs to be healed. We're releasing what no longer serves, and we are redressing in the new attire in divine alignment with all that we truly are, and all of us were born, those of us in the Empath Collective, we were born for such a time as this. So there will be on our empath journey in this human experience, there will be periods of time where we realign, and we recalibrate, and where sometimes it will be very subtle, and other times it will be very drastic. We'll almost look different. We'll feel different. Our energy signature will be potently different. So, dear beautiful empaths, these are your empath encouragement tips and lessons for this week. Of course, they're timeless. So anytime you find this recording, it is for you. And I hope you feel like you are home and divinely supported. So empaths are evolved souls, and their life experiences, their unique gifts, and their soul calling refine their life path into a pristine offering where much wisdom has been integrated through difficulty and through triumph. So we've talked many times about the empath journey, which has, included quite a bit of pain, trauma for many of us, but we've not only experienced the hard times, we've also experienced triumph, victory after victory, right? Upward battles uphill, and then, downward, sometimes spirals down, and sometimes moments of clarity down in the valleys before we get ready to hike up the mountain again. It's been such a dynamic journey for us. Through a series of challenges and victories, the empath becomes an evolved human and a way shower and a bright light in this world, so that we can show the human collective that they have the ability to experience triumph, to overcome challenges. So our life is an illustrated lesson or an illustrated sermon. Your life is an offering to humanity from the divine. How beautiful is that? You are a gift to humanity from the divine, from creation. And you bring a lot of relief to many souls with your light. The evolution of an empath, which is what we're talking about today, includes 3 phases. So let's explore them. Number 1, there are empath events. Number 2, there are empath encounters. And number 3 is what I call the Empath Experience. Let's dive in. So empath events there are many different things, and this certainly is not an exhaustive list, okay? This is just my interpretation of what empath events are. They start with feeling emotional intensity, usually when we're very young, but of course throughout our lives, we feel this energy sensitivity, this emotional sensitivity, and there's often a state of being where we don't know how to manage or navigate or handle all that we're feeling. Empath events also include pain or trauma, again, usually experienced in those younger years, but also throughout our lives, in our adult lives, any form of betrayal from business partners, significant others, romantic partners, siblings, family, acquaintances, situations that you thought were friendly, turns out they were energy vampires. Empath events are the activation of our gifts, which is a beautiful thing, but often triggered by suffering and the necessity of the environment that we're in, what they need. An empath is often activated based on the environment or community that they're in any given moment. The situation requires an activation of gifts. So, for example, if we were living in a part of the world where there's war going on right now, or if we were visiting a country where there's war going on, such as when I went to Chile a few years ago and there was a revolution happening, there are certain gifts that came on online. In fact, in a previous talk, I talked about the QIT. I think it was the Empath code. If you want to check out that video, I talked about the QIT, quantum information technology, which is a structure within us empaths. At certain points when we've been activated, we can dial into the QIT. There's a massive jet passing overhead. I mean, it is massive, massive. It's huge. It must be a military jet. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, I talked about the QIT, quantum information technology, that is available to us to access and dial into information in the quantum field, but it also is a technology that will shut down nefarious AI as needed. It can dial into AI that in a way that benefits the empath and benefits humanity and helps us, and it can also shut down nefarious agendas. Okay, so the QIT is very fascinating. Well, that came online when I was in Chile in 2019. I had never heard of the QIT. I did not know that existed, and it became available and activated within my consciousness while I was in Chile during a revolution. So sometimes you will go to a country or a community, you'll be in a situation and gifts you didn't even know were already embedded in you will activate because they're required. Other times, suffering and pain triggers the activation of those particular gifts. Okay. Other empath events, recalibration after suffering. So after we've experienced pain or trauma, there's a recalibration process and an experience that is one of our events as an empath. Also, learning to finesse the energy. This occurs many times over our lifetime throughout the years, learning to wield your magic and finesse your energy and flex, if you will. This empath event occurs many, many times as needed with new gifts and new activations. There's a period of time where you have to learn how to hone those gifts and how to become efficient with those gifts and those activations, and that is finessing the energy. And then lastly, finding your flow and your comfortability as an empath with a unique energy signature, really anchoring and grounding into all that you are and being confident and being strong, maintaining that compassion and love and light and beauty and divine serenity and openness, and yet at the same time being grounded and anchored and strong and powerful in all that you are as an empath ambassador. So those are empath events. Empath encounters. So after pain or trauma, subtle visitations from angels and spirit guides, ancestors, and safe spiritual beings begin to occur. I say safe spiritual beings because as energy sensitive people, we can dial into a lot of different dimensions, vibrations, and, spiritual beings and spiritual personalities. Not everything is safe. This is why we want to abide in the sanctuary of the heart. We want to live from the sanctuary of the heart so that we are constantly protected, cocooned, sheltered, and so that we have a very clear dial and clear lens to be able to see with accuracy what the energy signature is behind any human and non-human that we deal with. Okay, so empath encounters for us, those of us abiding in the light, in the highest light, include beautiful visitations from angels and divine spiritual beings, our ancestors, our higher selves, encounters with the soul, encounters with God, encounters with the divine creation. Okay, beautiful. Also, empath encounters are alignments that occur with other empaths while we are here having this human experience. Along the journey, we will meet other empaths, and empaths are, within our collective. There are many different types of empaths with different interests and different abilities and talents and different vibrations and frequencies based on their lineage and based on what they're called to, right? But we will find divine alignments along the way, and they are such beautiful encounters to meet like-minded souls. Also, high conscious interactions with people and situations and things, whether it's with empaths or just vibes, just experiences that are high conscious that make you feel so connected and so seen and witnessed by the divine, so supported, divinely supported. And then high vibe souls, also known as soul family, whether they are energy sensitive empaths or other types of light workers, other types of star seeds and way showers. There are people on this planet that just feel like soul family. The minute you meet them, your soul recognizes them. Some of them might be your soulmates. Some of them might be people that you date and then, maybe marry. Some of them will be people that feel like family, even though they're not your blood family. They are your soul family. And those high vibe souls are such beautiful encounters for us. Then there are divine connections with creation, with nature, with God, with all divine aspects of consciousness at higher levels. These beautiful encounters can occur when you hug a tree, when you're in the ocean, when you're in meditation. They can occur in dream space. They can occur when you're eye gazing with another beautiful divine soul. You can be alone, you can be in partnership, you can be in ceremony, you can be participating in a ritual. Divine connections with creation, with creator, with the source of everything. So beautiful, such beautiful encounters that remind us of our divinity and that we are aligned with something higher than this lower playing field, here on the earth. Other encounters, divine connection with yourself, learning who you are at a deeper level, recognizing all that you are, your own profundity, your own beauty, living from the heart and honoring yourself, being the participant and the observer of your own experience. Such a beautiful empath encounter. And then, of course, there are your mission assignments. These are your service work endeavors as you interact with other beings and as you offer your light, as you share what you are here to share and experience, what you're here to experience as part of your mission and assignments. These are beautiful empath encounters. And then we have what I call the empath experience as our third phase as an empath. Empath experiences change the lives of others, and they impact our path continuously and exponentially. The empath experience is an ongoing elevation of awareness of all that you are and awareness of what you came here to do and awareness of how you are accomplishing divine will with your life path. That is the empath experience. So in the empath experience, the now evolved, more mature empath walks different, talks different, and shows up differently. There's maturity in your perspective, and that maturity in your perspective impacts the community where your service work is done. In this space, leadership emerges. Your healing gifts and your power is fully activated. Your energy is finessed in such a beautiful and powerful way that problems are solved quickly and people are realigned back to the original source code after difficult situations. So those of you who, work with me, think about the blessings that you've manifested in your life. Those of you who, actually work with me, I'm as a client. Think about the beautiful blessings that you've shared with me that have occurred in your lives, the things you've manifested by just thinking differently and up-leveling your life. This is an experience or an example of you finessing your energy. Okay, you've learned to finesse your energy in such a beautiful way that you solve problems very quickly when you don't know how you're going to pay a bill, or you need a new job, or you want to send your kids to college and there's no money, and all of a sudden, boom, you're telling me about the beautiful testimony, the miracle, the money you got that you weren't expecting, the money that came in the mail, the this, the that, the settlement, all of these things. You're learning to finesse your energy, and your life is a manifestation of that beautiful finessed energy. So once you step into finesse mode, there's a level of maturity in your perspective and in what you create for yourself. Also, during the empath experience, the electricity of your energy signature is palpable. So when you hug someone, or you pray for someone, or you do Reiki, or you speak something, people feel that energy in such a way that it goes, it's like electricity, and it goes through them. It is palpable and extremely healing, can be life-changing and unearthing. As part of the empath experience, you learn to love being in your own energy because it is so authentic and it's so aligned. It's magical. And you realize that you truly are helping the planet with your beautiful, lovely energy signature. Being in your own energy, finessing that energy, enjoying that energy, loving your own energy builds confidence. It increases your confidence in your work, and it anchors and grounds you in divine knowing of all that you are. Divine knowing is understanding divine truth. It's recognizing divine connection. Divine knowing is realizing you are divinely supported at all times, all ways, and in all ways. Divine knowing is that you are never alone. So beautiful. And as part of the empath experience, things just become more magical as you recognize that living from the heart space comes with all kinds of perks, spiritual perks and benefits. You recognize that alchemical transformation, master manifestation, divine interventions, abundance, divine peace, divine harmony, divine self-acceptance, divine self-love, divine self-mastery, divine relationships, and so much more. You recognize as part of the empath experience that these things are part of your birthright. So beautiful. So, my loves, dear brothers and sisters of the Empath Collective, with all of our cycles, our transformations, our up-levelings, our unexpected adventures, struggles, hardships, and then recalibration after all of those things, with all of this adventure that we're experiencing, all we are required to do is just be authentic every step of the way, okay? Be authentic. Everything you need in order to serve your soul, to serve your purpose, to serve the plan that the divine has for you, it's already embedded within you. It was embedded in your consciousness at the time of divine conception, when the spirit world, the spirit realm, the divine creator, creation, God, birthed you into existence in divine dream space. Before even in your mother's womb, you were embedded within your consciousness with all that you would need in this human life. So when you do your work and you've learned the empath first lessons. And if you're wondering what those are, check out this YouTube channel, go back to some of the beginning. You'll find out what the empath first lessons are. We need to know those first lessons so that we can truly, the next level is live within the sanctuary of the heart and abide in the sanctuary of the heart, live to and through and from the sanctuary of the heart, infinity cycle and infinity circle from the heart to the heart, through the heart. Okay? Once you've learned those beautiful first lessons, it becomes easy to just rest in the arms of what we call God frequency. Okay? When you're resting in the arms of God frequency, you are trusting the process. You are finessing the energy. You are enjoying your own energy signature, and you are finding your flow in the divine, and it becomes divine ecstasy because you're abiding in divine will. And divine will and divine ecstasy becomes a part of your divine daily practice, rituals of the heart. And through it all, we are divinely supported in all ways. I'm hoping that these tips are helpful for you. I'm hoping that you find the channel and find the divine messages that are appropriate for your life path and your life force at the exact time that you need them. May you continue to be prosperous in all ways. May abundance and health find you with each and every moment and with each and every breath. May you always abide in the highest light. May you be strengthened during times of darkness. May you always recognize your own profundity as a divine ambassador of light. May you recalibrate and recode as needed. May you swim in the ecstasy of divine will. And may you find your flow, dear ones. Blessings, love, and light. I look forward to being with you again. Have a beautiful and wonderful week. Bye.